Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Free Talk with Miss Joe. Real talk, no faux. Here we share real stories, meaningful convos, and reflections about life, experiences, growth, and lessons as it truly is. Beautiful, messy, challenging, and inspiring all at once. Today is Labor Day, and Labor Day has its origins in the United States in the late 19th century during the Industrial Revolution era in the late 1800s when the United States was experiencing rapid industrial growth, facing long work hours like 10 to 16 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week, with unsafe conditions and long pay for factory workers, miners, and laborers. This led to protests, strikes, and the rise of labor unions. So specifically, nangyari ito noong September 5, 1882 sa New York City and was organized by the Central Labor Union or the CLU. There were about 10,000 workers who marched in a parade to celebrate workers' contribution and advocate for labor rights. So this event was combined with festivity together with political and social awareness. Ano ba yung significance dito? Labor Day was meant to honor the social and economic achievements of American workers, celebrate the labor movement's gains, and acknowledge the dignity of work. But of course, as Filipinos, we're more interested in our own Labor Day. They celebrate their Labor Day on September 1st, tayo naman every May 1st. We patterned our Labor Day in the Philippines with an international group called the Second International, who declared May 1st as a day to honor workers, known today as the International Workers' Day. Labor Day didn't start as a holiday. In fact, it started as a fight. A fight for time, for dignity, and the right to live, not just work. Pero ngayon, for many of us, it's just another holiday. A day to rest, maybe to sleep lang, or sa iba to go out. But what are we really celebrating? Tulad nga ng nabanggit ko kanina, there was a time when people worked not 8 hours but 12, 14, even 16 hours a day. Madalas no rest days, with unsafe conditions and little to no protection. Workers weren't just tired, they were exhausted, invisible, and unheard. So kung kayo kaya ang magtrabaho ng ganon, anong gagawin nyo? When you're already pushed to your limits, the only thing left to do is to fight. Fight back and demand for what is fair. So they marched, they protested, and they demanded for something we now take for granted. And what's that? 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, and 8 hours for life. Many workers paid the price with their lives, silencing their voices. But it changed the world. That's where Labor Day began. Not as a break, like what many are doing now, but as a battle. Now, let me ask you, as an employee or as a worker, where are you in your own story in the workplace? Are you working to live or are you living just to work? Fulfilled ka ba sa trabaho mo o nagtatrabaho ka lang para mag-survive? Kasi let's be real, ang dami ng pagod sa Pilipinas ngayon. Ang dami ng pagod na Pilipino ngayon. Ang taas ng pamasahe, mahal ng bilihin, mahal ng kuryente, tubig, at gasolina, sobrang mahal na, lalo nung magkagera sa Iran. Parking rates sa mga building sa Makati, BGC, mga malls, mataas na din. Pati blood pressure ng mga tao, mataas na din. Pero mga sweldo ng mga empleyado at mga manggagawa, hindi naman tumataas. Paano natin makocompensate yung pagtaas ng mga bilihin kung hindi naman tumataas yung mga sweldo natin? Diyan mas pagod ang Pinoy. Hindi lang sa trabaho. Yung gigising ka ng maaga, lalaban ka sa traffic, work buong araw, uuwing pagod, tas bukas gano'n na naman ulit. Pagod is real sa ating mga Pinoy. In the real world, Pinoys are overworked and overlooked. No matter how hard they try to do their work effectively and diligently. Bakit kaya? So kahit Labor Day today, sana wag lang tayo mag-rest. Let's feel, let's think, and let's remember that Labor Day is not just a holiday, but a history. And now here we are, Different times, different struggles. But the same question remains. Bilang regular na empleyado, do you really love your job at the moment? Bato-bato sa langit. Ang tamaan, wala kayong magalit. Kasi kung tinamaan ka, malamang totoo kaya ka galit. But here are the uncomfortable truths about the struggles at work that didn't actually end. It just somehow changed. These days, our workplace may not look exactly like a battlefield, but for many, it feels like one. As you enter your workplace, instead of feeling safe, you feel watched, scrutinized, judged, somehow feeling like you have to prove yourself again and again and again. Let us count the ways. Number 1, favoritism. Yung kahit anong galing mo, kahit anong sipag mo, hindi ikaw ang paborito. You're always overlooked. Yung alam ng lahat na qualified ka naman, minsan overqualified pa nga kahit na sa mga boss mo mas qualified ka. But your effort doesn't always equal recognition. Opportunities feel selective and usually promotions go to the same people. Minsan nga undeserving people pa. Pero dahil sila yung paborito, they are highly favored. Yung kahit na ikaw yung nagvo-volunteer gumawa nito or niyan, ayaw nila kahit alam nilang hindi mo lang kaya yon kundi forte mo pa. Ayaw lang nila because they don't want you to be seen. They don't want you to shine. That's really exhausting, you know. Minsan bibigyan ka lang ng false hopes para manahimik ka na lang. Ano pa? Second, office politics. Halos lahat ng opisina, mapa-government or private sectors, merong office politics. Nakangiti pag nakikita ka, but different conversations behind your back. Kung ano-ano sinasabi sa iba tungkol sa'yo, kahit di mo pa nga kilala yung iba. Tuloy, iba na yung tingin at perception sa'yo dahil nasiraan ka na pala. Minsan pa nga akala mo kaibigan mo na sila. Hindi pa rin pala. Kasi meron silang iba-ibang alliances. So, merong mga hidden agendas. Mabait kuno sa'yo kasi user-friendly lang. Pero, relate ba kayo dyan? Tawag dyan, power plays. So, meron din palang mga unspoken competitions. Kaya kahit di nyo napapansin, may mga lobbyists din sa mga workplaces natin. So before I continue the others, let's do word talk kasi my word talk for today is lobbying. Spelled L-O-B-B-Y-I-N-G. Ano ba to? Usually, yung lobbying ay ginagamit ng mga lobbyists sa politika. Pero, meron din gumagawa niyan sa mga government and private sectors. So let's define first the meaning of lobbying. Lobbying is the act of attempting to influence the decisions, policies, or actions of government officials, legislators, or regulatory agencies. It involves targeted communications such as meetings, emails, or campaigns by individuals, corporations, or interest groups to sway legislative or administrative outcomes. So bago mag-react ang mga guilting lobbyists ng mga opisina, please take note that lobbying is legal in many countries, including the Philippines. Nagiging controversial lang siya if it involves bribery or corruption, or pag ang pinakikinggan lang ay ang mga powerful group lang, while others are ignored. So that's our word talk for today, lobbying. So tuloy ko, okay? So, lobbying does not only happen in government. Nangyayari din ito sa private sectors when they try to influence managers, executives, or yung mga decision makers sa company to support a certain proposal, approve something, or if they favor a person or team. How? Paano ito nangyayari? When someone or a group of people convince the boss or top management to approve a project when your ideas are promoted to higher management, when they build alliances before a big meeting, or when they quietly gain support for a promotion or role. Sa isang healthy workplace, ito ay isang strategic communication at relationship building lang. So this is normal and even necessary for growth. Nagiging unhealthy lang siya when it becomes toxic. How? Palakasan or backer system. Meron din yan sa private. Favoritism and nepotism. When someone else takes credit for your work. When information is manipulated and when you exclude others for getting equal opportunities. Dito na nag-overlap yung office politics. Unfair promotion and power play. Not all lobbying is bad, ha? The problem is how it's done. If it's based on merit and transparency, it builds careers. Pero if it's based on connections and manipulations, it breaks trust. So lobbying doesn't just happen in government. Kahit sa ang opisina o private sectors or even in schools, BPO, at kung anumang klaseng industriya, nangyayari ito. Ang question lang, are you influencing with integrity or are you just playing the game? So lobbying is actually part of office politics if done in a bad light. So you're left wondering, kanino ba talaga ako pwede magtiwala? That's the question. Number 3, nepotism and backer system. Nabanggit ko na ito kanina. Yung kahit hindi sila pinaka-qualified, sila pa din ang napopromote. Na kahit lagi silang late, madalas absent, kadalasan nga invisible na sa office at wala halos ginagawa, sila pa din ang napopromote. Dahil malakas ang kanilang backer or kamag-anak sila ng mga boss o mga direktor o may-ari ng kumpanya. They are promoted not because of performance, but because of connections. Sad, no? Malakas yung backer. May kakilala. May kamag-anak sa loob. And you're left asking, anong kulang sa akin? You give your best. You stay late. You stay committed. You're always there. But someone else moves ahead. Not because they earned it, but because they were placed there. And this kind of injustice doesn't just hurt your motivation. It slowly breaks your spirit. Masakit, masaklap, pero yan ang talagang nangyayari. Yan ang totoo. Number 4, bullying. Before I did my research, akala ko the United States is the most famous country for bullying. Kasi madami sa kanila ang mga mean girls sa school. And madami pa din sa kanila ang mga racists. Especially to Asians. Madami nga sila mga pranks at practical jokes that are very offensive. Pero para sa kanila, it's just a joke. For example, yung napanood ko sa YouTube, in a dorm, lalo na sa college level nila, where most college students are in a dorm, when a group of young Americans tried to prank their Asian dormmate who arrived from his part-time job after school. So he fell asleep on the couch where he was sleeping na. His dormmates placed an inflatable mini pool in front of the couch where he was sleeping. They filled the inflatable pool with cold water and some ice. Then, they pushed him there while he was asleep. Of course, he was flabbergasted and dumbfounded when he woke up after he was pushed into the pool with cold water. It was mean. But to his dormmates, it was fun. It was just a joke. To him, it was very offensive. To me, that was disrespect. Madaming ganon sa Amerika. However, while doing my research, I was so surprised that the Philippines pala is the number 1 country in bullying, especially in school and especially verbally. Verbal bullying is actually number 1 in the Philippines. But, did you know that bullying is not always loud? Not always obvious. Sometimes it's very subtle, may sarcasm, may exclusion, o kaya constant criticism. Sometimes naman, it's public humiliation. Pero sometimes then, it's silence that makes you feel small. And slowly, you begin to doubt yourself. Example, when you're not invited in an outing or a party, or when they leave you out of group chats or decisions. Di ka man lang natanong, or when your ideas or input are ignored. Example, when it's your birthday and nobody greets you in your group chat kasi they don't know cause the one in charge deliberately ignores it's your birthday. That makes you feel invisible and irrelevant. Pero meron ding maingay, yung lagi kang kinocall out sa GC to shame you na pwede naman sabihin sa'yo privately or personally. O kaya, sisigawan ka or tataasan ka ng boses over small mistakes na may kasamang insulting comments like, ang bobo mo naman, or ang hina naman ng pickup mo. O kaya, wala kang kwentang kausap. Wala ka namang contribution dito sa opisina. This is called public shaming. Yung mga ipopost pa sa GC yung mistakes mo to embarrass you, using you as the example of failure in front of others, or yung mumurahin ka kasi alam niya na di ka makakibo. Kaya sa harap ng maraming tao o kahit dalawa lang kayo nag-uusap, walang karapatan ang kahit sino na sigawan tayo o murahin tayo kahit sila pa ang may-ari ng kumpanyang pinapasukan natin dahil meron tayong tinatawag na office decorum or office ethics. At kaya nila nagagawa ito kasi they can get away with it kasi boss sila. Or mataas ang posisyon nila kaya akala nila they are entitled to do that. Pero wala silang right to do that. You gave them the right to do that by not calling them out and not telling them that they don't have the right to do that to you or to anyone else. Pansinin nyo, yung mga boss na alam nilang lalabanan sila or iaangal din sila ng mga empleyado, hindi nila maganyan. Kasi alam nilang papalagan sila. Pero pag alam nilang di ka lang kikibo, ay you will always be his favorite toy. Tapos magsusorry lang pagkatapos parang walang nangyari without considering the psychological trauma that you experienced. Subukan mo gawin sa kanya yon. Sigurado, baka bukas wala ka ng trabaho. Pero pag sila gumagawa nun sa'yo, okay lang. Alam mo minsan, ang sarap to show that to their malfunctioning frontal lobe. Kasi hindi nila naiintindihan na yung ginagawa nila ay masakit. Kasi hindi sila marunong to consider other people's feelings. Number 5, unfair criticism. Yung lagi ka na lang kinikriticize sa lahat ng ginagawa mo. Kahit madalas, tama naman. Yung mahilig magsabi ng dapat ito yung ginawa mo o dapat ito yung sinabi mo. Yung wala ka nang ginawa at sinabing tama kahit tama naman lahat ng sinabi at ginawa mo. And I'm not talking about just bosses ha. I'm also talking about your colleagues and your peers. May mga tao talagang ganito sa opisina. Tapos ang laging hina-highlight yung mali mo lang. Pero yung mga tama mong ginagawa, ini-ignore lang, including your achievements. Tapos, magsiset ng mga impossible standards or deadlines only for you. Kasi bad trip siya sa'yo or napapangitan siya sa'yo kahit sa totoong buhay, mas pangit naman talaga siya sa'yo. Feeling lang niya, mas maganda siya sa'yo kasi boss siya. Ikaw, feeling niya, boss niya. Pero parang hindi lang boss ang gumagawa nito. Minsan, kahit colleagues mo lang at peers mo, ginaganyan ka. Lalo na pag medyo mas mataas ang konti ang ranggo sa'yo. Yung kahit ang ganda-ganda ng suot mo at lahat ng nasa opisina na puri ka na, siya, hindi ka niya pupurihin dahil sa isip niya, kung siya yung nagsuot ng damit mo, mas bagay sa kanya. Meron ba kayong kilalang gano'n? Number 6, overloading or sabotaging work. So, ito yung mga when they give an unrealistic deadlines, making you work overtime or on weekends dahil gusto lang nilang wag ka makapagpahinga sa weekend mo. Yung kahit weekends or vacation leaves mo, tawag ng tawag sa'yo kahit wala namang importanteng sasabihin. O kaya, ang aga-aga kang tatawagan, alam lang Sabado o Linggo, iistorbohin ng tulog mo. Pag sumagot ka, mag-a-assign ng tasks outside your role just to stress you. Tapos, pag pumalag ka, isasampal sa mukha mo yung nakalagay sa job description mo na you are hereby tasked to perform other duties as assigned. Kahit na ang talagang meaning nito ay you may be asked to do additional tasks beyond your listed responsibilities as long as they are reasonable and related to your role or the company's needs. In simple terms, extra task lang yan during busy periods or small responsibilities not originally listed And support work lang for the team or department. Yung mga reasonable and related to your job, hindi constant overload or replacement for hiring another employee. It should not be something that violates your contract or dignity. Other duties should mean helping the team, not becoming the team yourself. Kung wala kayong buhay, pag wala kayong pasok sa opisina, yung mga empleyado nyo ho, malamang sa hindi ay meron. May pamilya, may anak, may mga household chores, or gusto din magpahinga dahil we are all entitled to a good rest. Hindi lang mga boss ang pwedeng mag-rest. Empleyado mas pagod, actually. Number 7, micromanaging to the extreme. Yung lahat na lang ng ginagawa mo, minomonitor every move you make. Not trusting you to do simple tasks. Parang laging walang tiwala sa'yo sa mga ginagawa mo. Constant checking just to find fault. Tapos, pag di nagustuhan yung ginawa mong tama naman, siya ang gagawa pero isusumbat sa'yo yung ginawa niya at ichichismis ka pa na hindi mo ginagawa ng tama ang trabaho mo kaya siya na lang ang gumawa. Maraming ganyan. Again, katulad ng sinabi ko, hindi lang boss mo ang gumagawa niyan or pwedeng gumawa niyan. Malamang sa hindi, may mga colleagues ka na gumagawa rin ito sa'yo. Which makes me go to number 8. Spreading rumors or gossip. Talking behind your back. Bad-mouthing you. Damaging your reputation intentionally. Twisting stories to make you look bad. Siyempre tuloy, hindi ka pa kilala ng iba, may mga perceptions na hindi na maganda about you, yung mga yon, and that's not okay. Yun namang ibang naniniwala lang agad, check it out first. Sabi nga ng kasabihan, ang naniniwala sa sabi-sabi ay walang bait sa sarili. So magkaroon kayo ng bait sa sarili nyo. Check it out first. Know the person first before believing other people's stories. Malay mo, inggit lang yung nagkwento sa'yo or yung nagsabi sa'yo nun or may galit dun sa tao. Know the person muna before passing judgment. Talk to that person kung totoo yung sinabi sa'yo. At least you've done your due diligence. Hindi yung naniniwala ka lang sa sabi-sabi ng iba. Ano pa? Number 9. Threats or intimidation. Nako, may mga kilala din tayong mga ganito. Statements such as, madali ka lang palitan, kung ayaw mo, mag-resign ka na lang. Ito yung mga, they're using job security to scare you. Tawag nga dyan, emotional blackmail. Siyempre ikaw, since you're scared to lose your job, lulunokin mo na lang lahat yan. No, don't allow this. Don't let threats and intimidation scare you. You have a voice. Use it. Number 10. Eto, marami akong kilalang ganito lalo na yung mga bagong promote. Mga bagong promote or mga matagal ng boss na hindi nasasampulan minsan. Power tripping. Nako, ang dami kong kakilalang ganito. Lalo na talaga yung mga bagong promote lang. Using their authority to make your life harder. Minsan nga, hindi pa napopromote, mapapromote pa lang Napipinto pa lang silang i-promote, nag-feeling na sila Using their authority to make your life harder. Denying your leaves unfairly. Yung gusto pa i-explain mo sa kanila saan ka pupunta, dapat open ang cell mo pag nag-leave ka, para anytime na may kailangan sa'yo, tatawagan ka, marireach ka agad. Ano pa? Giving punishments to you, pero hindi applied to others. Yung pag nakita ka nakikipag-usap sa iba, sisitahin ka o kaya pagagalitan ka. Kahit break mo naman o sandali ka pala nakikipag-usap, pero pag yung iba, okay lang kahit 3 oras na nakikipag-usap o nakikipaglandian sa iba. Relate kayo? Punta tayo sa number 11. Silent treatment. The silent treatment. Ignoring your messages or emails intentionally kahit na work-related siya at importante siya. refusing to communicate with work-related stuff so you struggle at work. Ang hirap nun whether you want to believe it or not. These are all happening in both the private and the government sector. Deny it all you want, it's happening. But the worst situation that an employee will be put in, whether the employee is a guy, a girl, bakla, or tomboy, is when one experiences sexual harassment. This is by far the most uncomfortable situation and the most uncomfortable topic to talk about. Dahil reactions here are varied. Because this is a topic that people either laugh off, ignore, or pretend to be normal. But it's definitely not. Usually, this doesn't always start big. Sometimes it starts with a joke. Yung green jokes. Yung tipong may green joke sa office. Tawanan lahat. And you laugh too, kahit hindi ka na comfortable. Minsan nga, boss mo pa yung mag-uumpisa ng mga green jokes. So wala kang choice. Tatawa ka. Kasi hindi ka naman pwede kumontra dahil empleyado ka lang. Kasi ayaw mo mapansin, ayaw mo masabihan na KJ ka. But if you let this pass, it becomes comments na at first parang harmless lang. Harmless lang. Statements like, uy, ang ganda mo today puti mo pala, balbon ka pala, balbon ka ba sa lahat ng parts ng body mo? Bastos, di ba? Until it becomes frequent, it becomes unnecessary. Until it's not. Sometimes it's already too personal. Then again, you ignore it. But it continues again and again and again. Then one day, it crosses the line. A touch that lingers too long, a hand that shouldn't be there, a space that feels too close, and suddenly you don't feel safe anymore. Or worse, everyone can see it, but they say, joke lang naman yan, si boss naman yan O kaya, ganun lang talaga siya, palabiro, hayaan mo na lang. Dati din kami naiilang pa ganyan, pero sanay na kami sa kanya, matagal na siya dito But here's the truth, it's not a joke, it's not funny, it makes you feel uncomfortable. It's not harmless if it takes away your sense of safety. And it's not normal just because it happens often. If you ever felt this and just stayed quiet, laughed it off, or questioned yourself, you're not overreacting. You're responding to something that shouldn't be happening in the first place. Let's be clear. Work is a place to work, to earn, to grow and build your future. It's not a place where you feel unsafe, objectified, or disrespected. And if it happens, you have the right to say, I'm not comfortable. Let's keep things professional. And you have every right to document it, report it, to protect yourself. Because your silence should never be the price for keeping your job. Whether this is verbal, mga sexual jokes, or green jokes during office hours, compliments that feel uncomfortable like, sexy mo today siguro may lakad kayo ng boyfriend mo. Or asking about your personal or sexual life, mga non-verbal reactions like leaning or staring in a sexual way, whistling or catcalling, mga gestures with sexual meaning, lalo na kung physical, mga unwanted touches sa kamay, braso, mga accidental brushing that feels intentional, o kaya mga babanggain ka kunyari, standing too close, invading your personal space, or yung tinatawag na quid pro quo, or favor for favor. This is abuse of power. Like, if you go out with me, I'll make sure you get promoted. May mga ganyan. Using authority to demand something sexual. This can happen to anyone. Babae, lalaki, bakla, tomboy. It can come from a boss, a co-worker, or even a client. Always remember, sexual harassment is not about sex. It's about power. If they know they have power over you, they can sexually harass you. But if they know that you'll fight, you set boundaries, you document everything, you report it at once, they cannot have power over you. No one can manipulate or harass you if they know that they have no power over you. Because you don't allow these green jokes, this power imbalance, The victim blaming. No, you don't allow this. No one, if you set your boundaries, no one can do this to you. No one, if you set your boundaries. But if you just laugh it off, you tolerate, and you let them, then you gave them permission to harm you. Now, here's my question. What do you do in this kind of environment? Because not everyone can leave their jobs. Hirap humanap ng trabaho ngayon, ha? So, anong gagawin mo? Ito, mga suggestions lang. So, these are some of the things that you can do to protect yourself in the office. Number 1, protect your peace. Hindi mo naman need patulan lahat. Kung pwedeng huwag ka muna kumibo, keep silent muna, observe ka na lang. Observe ka muna. Second, this is very important. Set your boundaries. Simple words lang, like when you're on your leave. You can say, I'm on leave. I'll reply during work hours. Or, I don't think you should know where I'm spending my vacation or my time with my family. It's personal. Or simply say, let's not talk about my personal life. Let's keep this professional. Yan yung mga pwede nyong sabihin. Kung kaya nyo. Pero kailangan nyong kayanin. Otherwise, they will do this again and again to you. And again, this does not only apply to your boss. This can also apply to your colleagues. Kasi marami rin tayo mga colleagues na pakialamera sa buhay ng may buhay. Third, protect yourself. What's the best way to do that? Document everything. Save text messages, screenshot conversations, or record it if necessary. Get someone to witness if someone is doing something uncomfortable to you. Or, may CCTV naman siguro kayo sa office. You can probably, record the date para you can check it out. But you have to keep some proof because the burden of proof is on you. That's how you protect yourself. Fourth, don't take their behavior personally. Ito, importante to. Don't always make it about you. Their behavior is on them, not on you. Minsan kasi, may ibang tao, lahat ng nangyayari sa mundo, akala niya, it all boils down to her or she's in the middle of it, kahit hindi naman. Kung sino man ang gumagawa ng bad behavior sa'yo, either binubuli ka, may office politics, sexual harassment, at kung ano-ano mang katarantaduhan sa office ang ginagawa sa'yo, their behavior is on them, not on you. It's a reflection of who they are. Because not everything thrown at you is yours to carry. Example, ayaw ka i-promote. Their decision is not a measure of your worth. It doesn't mean you're not capable. Maybe you're just in the wrong environment. Not getting promoted doesn't erase your value. Sometimes it's not even about your performance. Sometimes it's all about their preferences. If they can see your worth, that's their limitation, not yours. Always remember, your worth is not determined by a title other people chose not to give you. Fifth, find your people. You don't have to go through it alone. I'm sure meron kang makakatagpo, kaibigan, kasundo sa opisina. O kaya, kung wala talagang makasundo ka sa office, your own people, your friends. You can talk to your friends about it or your family. But you have to find your people. When I graduated my master's in psychology, ang recommendation ko sa thesis ko is for a psychologist to be readily available in the private and the government sector. Bakit? Kasi nga, yung workplace natin can sometimes be toxic. So, dapat readily available ang isang psychologist doon para may makausap. Yung empleyadong nasa-stress, na-overwhelm, napapagod, natotoxican, anything na na-experience sa opisina, kapag ka kasi na-rant mo yon or nasabi mo sa isang tao, maluwag ka na lalo na kung sa isang trained psychologist. Mabibigyan ka niya ng mga assistance, ng mga guidelines para ito yung pwede mong gawin. Makakapag-suggest siya ng mga bagay na pwede mong i-apply para ma-survive mo ang opisina at ma-endure mo ang mga pambubuli, ang pambabastos, o yung toxicity ng isang empleyado o ng isang boss or ng isang buong environment. Sixth, just go to work. Show up and do your job. But don't overgive. Hindi mo kailangan ubusin ang sarili mo sa trabaho. Seventh, learn how to detach yourself. Remember, not everything deserves your reaction. Minsan, gusto lang nila makita kung anong gagawin mo, anong sasabihin mo, paano ka magre-react. Kasi, yun ang inaantay nila. Pwedeng yung pagkakamali mo o kung ano yung maling sasabihin mo or kahit na tama yung sasabihin mo, they can use that against you. So, detach yourself. Learn not to react. Because not everything deserves your reaction. Yung pangwalo, think ka na of other options. Kung di ka na talaga masaya sa workplace, dapat nag-iisip-isip ka na. Sabi nga, di ba, if you can't stand the heat in the kitchen, get the hell out. Ginagawa mo dyan. Kung natotoxican ka na, hindi ka pa makaalis, plan something. Diba? Pag-isip ka ng ibang option. Baka naman talagang hindi yung trabahong yan ay para sa'yo. Pwede naman. Lahat naman tayo may choice. Lahat naman tayo pwedeng magplano. Ninth, prepare your exit. Prepare your exit. Kakasabi ko lang, diba? You always have a choice. By staying, that's your choice. By leaving, that's also your choice. So choose your hard. If you stay, it's hard for you. If you leave, it's also hard for you. So, choose your hard. Ganun talaga. Parang, pag gusto mo magpapayat, di ba pag kain ka ng kain, ang hirap naman to, kain ako ng kain, ang taba-taba ako na. Pag naman nagda-diet ka, konti lang yung kinakain mo, ganun din ang sasabihin, ang hirap naman ito, konti lang yung kinakain ko, hindi ko makain yung mga gusto ko. Both are hard things to do. Both things have their own hard. So, choose your hard. 10th, this is very, very important. But not everybody can do it. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, especially when it comes to abuse. Know when it's time to speak your truth. Know when to break your silence. Your voice is power. Use it wisely, but respectfully and firmly. Know when to speak. And lastly, this has been my mantra since I started working. Narinig ko to sa isang boss ko sa bangko when I was still working in the bank before. Don't die for your company because your company will not die for you. You are replaceable. When you die, when something bad happens to you, they can easily replace you in a day or two. So, don't die for your company because your company is not going to die for you. No one is indispensable. Every worker can be replaced in a jiffy. Your life doesn't stop when work ends. Who you are beyond your job matters too. Your job is just one part of your life, not your entire life. Lagi mong tandaan, remember, hindi ka lang empleyado, tao ka. Hindi ka lang nabubuhay para sa sweldo. Karapat-dapat kang irespeto, magpahinga, at itrato ng tama. Know your worth. Protect your peace. And when the time is right, choose yourself. So, choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose your heart. Choose wisely. So this Labor Day, don't just rest. Reflect. Reflect on where you are, how you're treated at work, and how you feel. Yes, work is important. So is your dignity, your peace of mind, and your well-being. Hanggang doon na lang. Please feel free to visit my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. Also at Free Talk with Miss Jo, Real Talk, No Fo. And I'd appreciate your support by hitting follow, like, and share it to whoever needs it. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is Miss Jo, keeping it real one convo at a time. And reminding you, you are more than a paycheck. See you next episode. Let's keep learning, keep growing, and keep going. Stay grateful, everyone. Bye.